Behind all the noise in the markets right now, there are quiet conversations happening. They're happening in boardrooms, on private calls, conversations about a huge force that is reshaping our entire financial world as we speak. And the emotion driving these meetings? It's not confidence. It's not even greed. No, it's panic. But here's the secret. The thing they don't want you to realize, it's not your panic, it's theirs. Because what if all that fear you're seeing, what if it isn't the danger we've all been taught to run away from? What if it's actually the biggest, clearest signal for opportunity you're going to see for the next decade? So, let's talk about panic. It's probably one of the most misunderstood forces in all of finance. We're all conditioned to run from it, right? But for the disciplined mind, it's not a fire alarm telling you to get out. It's more like a starting gun. It's a signal that the entire game is changing, and the price of admission is about to get a whole lot cheaper.
This right here, this is the core of the paradox. I remember an old school investor, a guy who made his fortune in the '87 crash. He told me this. He said that widespread fear, the kind we're seeing bubble up right now, is the fertile ground where new fortunes are quietly planted.
And this is how it works. Market panic is like a great filter. It shakes out the average mind, the one that reacts to every scary headline, that sells everything at the absolute worst time. But for the disciplined mind, well, that creates a massive opening. This is the moment when quality companies, great real estate, entire asset classes, they all go on sale. See, chaos isn't the threat, it's the discount. So the big question is, how do you actually build that disciplined mind? Well, it all starts by understanding that your most important investment isn't in stocks or bonds or crypto. No, your very first most crucial investment is inside your own head. It's your mindset. Think of your mindset as the operating system for your financial life. You could have the greatest stock tip on the planet, but if your operating system, your mindset, is buggy with fear or impatience, you're going to turn a winning trade into a loser every single time. The strongest portfolios are always built on the strongest mental foundations. And here's the part that most people miss. They try to change their income by chasing things on the outside, the next hot trend, the next big thing. But look, if your internal identity, who you truly believe you are in a crisis, doesn't change first, you will unconsciously sabotage every single opportunity that comes your way. You'll just fall back on old bad habits. Okay, so if mindset is the solid foundation, what's the engine we build on top of it? Well, that brings us to the real engine of growth, discipline. It's that quiet, powerful system that keeps you moving forward, long after the initial excitement and motivation have worn off. Most people wait for motivation. They wait until they feel like taking action. But motivation is just an emotion, and it's as unpredictable as the market. Discipline, on the other hand, is a system. Discipline is what makes you stick to your plan, buying consistently, even when the news is screaming, sell, sell, sell. It's steady, it's reliable, and it's the only thing that builds real, lasting wealth. And this is what discipline actually looks like in practice. It isn't some heroic, one-time trade that makes you rich. It's the small, almost boring, compounding habits. It's the daily reading, the weekly market study, the methodical monthly investing. These small, consistent actions are like compound interest for your mind, and over time, they create absolutely extraordinary results from very ordinary routines. At the end of the day, discipline's most important job is to protect you from your worst enemy, yourself. It's the guardrail that stops you from buying at the absolute peak of greed and panic selling at the very bottom of fear. It insulates your entire strategy from your own most expensive emotional impulses. Now, I get it.
Acting when everyone else is panicking, it feels risky. Of course it does. But risk itself isn't the enemy here. The real enemy is ignorance. See, acting without understanding, that's just gambling. But acting with understanding, that's strategy.
And this right here is the game changer. Knowledge turns that feeling of fear into a calculated edge. It's the difference between buying a stock because everyone's talking about it versus buying it because you've actually read the financial reports. You understand its debt, its profit margins, its competitive advantage. When you know the fundamentals, you can move with conviction while everyone else is frozen in fear. You're not guessing anymore. You're executing. Progress is never, ever made inside your comfort zone. Seeking financial comfort usually means you're holding way too much cash while inflation just eats it away. Or you're sticking with old investments that stopped growing years ago. Real growth only happens when you are willing to strategically step into calculated discomfort. So, let's be crystal clear about this. Staying on the sidelines, trying to avoid all risk, that is not the safe choice. It's a guaranteed path to stagnation. It ensures that inflation will steal your purchasing power year after year. In the long run, the single greatest financial risk you can take is taking no risk at all. So, this all leads us to the ultimate shift in strategy. Most people in the market spend their entire lives chasing things. Chasing hot stocks, chasing the latest trend, chasing money. And you know what? It's a trap. It's a game you can't win. So instead of chasing, you start building. You completely shift your focus from what you can get from the market to who you can become. A more knowledgeable, more disciplined, more valuable investor. And when you do that, something amazing happens. You stop competing for opportunities. You start to see them, to create them. You literally become the opportunity yourself. This is a fundamental law of the universe, really. Capital is like water. It always flows to where the value is. When you build genuine, irreplaceable value in your skills and your discipline, success isn't something you have to hunt for anymore. It finds you. And all of this, it brings us right back to this moment. Right now, this period of chaos and uncertainty in the market isn't just a crisis, it's a choice. It's a massive transfer of wealth that's happening in real time. And this is your own private emergency meeting with your financial future. Getting to that next level of financial success, it's not about just doing more of what you're already doing. It's about becoming a completely different class of investor. It requires a full upgrade of your internal operating system, how you think, how you process fear, and how you see opportunity. And this is one of the hardest truths to accept. To get to where you want to go, you have to be willing to let go of the old version of yourself, the one that feels safe and comfortable, and you have to intentionally build the new one that your future demands. Because in the end, everything you do is just a reflection of who you believe you are. So as the panic gets louder and the headlines get scarier, the only question that really matters is the one right here. It's not what will I do next? No, it's who will I become? That decision right there, that's the one that will shape everything that comes after.